Your Lincoln Mercury dealer presents the nationally syndicated columnist of the New York Daily News, Ed Sullivan, and his toast of the town.
But now I want to tell you about the Beatrice Lillie story, the comedy highlights of the Beatrice Lillie story which you're about to see. And if I could adjust the life story of Beatrice Lillie to her career as the #1 comedian of the international stage, I'd tell you she was born in a Canadian cabbage patch with leprechauns dancing attendants. Actually, she was born in Toronto. Leprechauns might have been there at that because her father came from County Down, Ireland, and her mother was an English concert star. From the night she made her Broadway debut in 1924 in Andre Charlot's Revue with Jack Buchanan and Gertrude Lawrence, her career as a star spells out a message to all performers. In 28 years as a headliner, Bea Lillie never has resorted to off-color material to win a laugh. For entertaining the combat troops and the wounded during World War II, she was decorated by General Montgomery for England, by General de Gaulle for France, by General DeVoe of Halloran Hospital for the United States. And I'm quite sure that you mothers realize that when she accepted that decoration from General Montgomery, she was accepting it in memory of her son, Sir Robert Peel, killed in action as a seaman in the Royal Navy. Andre Charlot, she tells me, played the greatest part in her career. But there are others, writers of the caliber of George Bernard Shaw, Noel Coward, Moss Hart, Dick Rogers and Larry Hart, Ivor Novello, Robert McGonigal, Vincent Youmans, and of course Howard Dietz and Arthur Schwartz supplied material which he's translated into just carloads of laughs over a quarter of a century. Ladies and gentlemen, the #1 comedian of the stage, Miss Beatrice Lillie. So let's hear it. See, you know, we've had a lot of thrills on the stage, great stars, but this tonight I think is the greatest, to have you here in your life story and about to perform in it. This is really wonderful.
What, tonight?
Yeah, tonight.
My life story?
Tonight, of
Are you
course.
mad?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't.
Well, Bea, this is very, very awkward. It's tonight. You must have seen the advertisement.
Advertisement?
I'm sorry. You saw the ad. It's going to be a delightful evening. You saw the ads. The Beatrice Lillie story and Lincoln Mercury.
Oh, I love your commercials. I wish I could stay to see them.
Oh.
I must say, but I can't because I've got to go. I'm going opening night.
Where?
Hamlet.
Go tomorrow night.
Might be off then.
Oh.
Can't tell.
You mean you're going to skip away now?
Yes, I'm going to skip away now, so I do that.
Absolutely incredible. My word of honor. She'll come back some other night, and she'll see the commercials then. How do you like that? Well, we can all sympathize with Hamlet tonight, if she's going to be in the audience. He'll really have a legit reason for being a melancholy dame. Right now, let's see, it's a little after 8. Poor Hamlet is probably in his dressing room rehearsing his lines, unaware that there's going to be murder in the orchestra streets. The part of Hamlet is being played for us tonight by the great star who created it 16 years ago, Reginald Gardner. We find him in his dressing room. Music. Curtain.
Does Sir Laurence Olivier realize that New York has been waiting 3 years to see his Hamlet? And they're waiting too at the Old Vic? The Old Vic is waiting to hear.
Blast the Old Vic! Blast the Old Vic! I'm very sorry, J.B. I'm afraid I can't go on. I can't face them. I'm sorry.
Briggs, the smelling salts, quickly.
Good God, Briggs, what are you supposed to be doing? You know perfectly well that I never take smelling salts unless I play Chekhov. Now I shall think of a cherry orchard all evening, ye gods.
Please, listen to me.
Just a moment, J.B. Briggs, what did I use before each performance in London of Hamlet?
Beecham's liver pills, sir.
And what did I use before each performance of The Seagull?
Guinness's stout, sir.
And before Romeo and Juliet?
You took a mild sedative in the morning, sir.
Very well.
Then give Sir Lawrence his Beecham's. He's doing Hamlet tonight.
Just a moment, J.B., just a moment, Briggs. New York shall never see my Hamlet. I can't face them. I'm muffing it. Oh, yes, J.B., I'm muffing it. I know about these opening nights in New York. They're rude and vulgar. They're without taste. They chatter and talk and chatter and talk and chatter and talk. They're without manners. They're utter bores.
Who told you that?
Oscar Hammerstein.
Who's he?
I don't know. He was asleep on my makeup table when I came in. I'm very sorry. I'm not going on tonight. You can return the money.
Very well, Sir Lawrence. But there'll be no need to return the money. We'll get John Gielgud. I believe he's up in the lines, and I believe your costume will fit him. Good night, Sir Lawrence.
Just a moment, J.B. For some extraordinary reason, I suddenly feel miraculously better. Up in the lines, you say?
Yes, Sir Lawrence.
Very well, I will go on. But I warn you, if they so much as rustle the program and I begin to be or not to be, that is the question. I will tear off this jerkin, tear it to shreds, and stump it down the gullet of George G. Nathan. Tell me, by the way, where's he sitting in case I want to do it?
Row E, 2 and 4.
Good.
Curtain going up, Sir Lawrence.
Thank you, dear boy. Well, J.B., the Old Vic, Eton and Harrow, Rebecca West, Somerset Maugham, the King, England, Beecham, Sir Thomas, Briggs, my Beecham's. Thank you. John Gielgud. Oh!
Who's there?
Hey, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the King.
Bernardo,
He.
you come most carefully upon your hour.
It's now struck 12. Get thee to bed, breakfast.
Please, madam, you can't do that.
What do you expect me to do, vault over it?
Sorry, madam, no one is to be seated until the end of the first scene.
Now, don't make me livid. My friends will tell you when I'm livid, I'm not pretty. So don't make me livid. Will you unhand me? Or do you want me to call Rudolph Bing? He'll be livid, I warn you.
Madam, I'm only an usher.
What do you think I thought you were, the bally roost? Really? It's time enough for that sort of thing when the revolution comes, and not before.
Well, good night.
Good night. Is
If
it
you
over?
do meet
Oh,
Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them. Stand hold. Who's there?
Friends to this crown and liegemen to the day.
Is this row C?
I don't know. Why don't you look at your ticket?
Communist?
If again this apparition comes, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, tush, will not appear.
Sit down a while.
Really? Usher, where's my seat? Well, why didn't you say so in the first place? I should have to report you to somebody or other. All you have to do is stand there and look at the show, really. I've heard of such nonsense. Oh, hello, Xenia. How are you, darling? You look divine. Your hair's a much better color this year. And I love all that paste jewelry you're wearing. It's marvelous. Shall I see you later? 21, Stork Club,
Marcellus,
downstairs, upstairs, doesn't matter. Some people like it now.
These, take thee off.
Will you give this down? Start
When it comes again.
I just think, shh, I want to hear this. Tell me, has John Gielgud been on yet?
Oh, darling, this isn't the John Gielgud Hamlet. This is Sir Lawrence Olivier's Hamlet.
Do you mean to say that divine John Gielgud isn't in this? My dear, I'm livid.
But, darling, there are 2 Hamlets this season.
2 Hamlets? Whatever for? Why, they'll be doing Shakespeare next, and I'm livid.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What
Oh, my
think you of?
darling. I haven't seen you since I got back from Paris, have I? Well, I want to tell you something. I met the most divine ship's officer on the Queen Mary. He was the most divine dancer. He danced like mad. He had the ship go slower so as we could have a few extra hours. And the captain was livid. Well, my dear, the last night I found myself up in the crow's foot with him. Well, of course, he's English. Oh, well, I wouldn't dream of letting him kiss me. He was a mere baby. But anyway, the ship gave a terrific lurch, and that was that. I was livid.
Thus, twice before, in jump at this dead hour with the martial stalk having gone by our watch.
In what particular sort of work, I know not. But in the growth and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Don't you just hate Hamlet? It's too revolting. They all talk like those dreadful fair dealers. I'm livid.
Madam, if you don't stop your talking, I'm going to have the usher change your seat.
Communist. I suppose you'd like to change the Constitution, wouldn't you? I get livid when I hear these Russians running down this country. I could spit. Who's coming in?
Darling, that's Sir Lawrence Olivier.
Oh?
It's Sir Laurence Olivier.
Oh,
Where's
this
Vivian?
Too
She was-
solid flesh would melt.
Oh, this too. Oh, my dear, I found the most divine reducing belt in Paris. The flesh simply oozes off. Right, you get all those things off your nose.
Against self-slaughter. Oh God, how weary, stale,
Keeps her
flat,
company,
and
doesn't it?
unprofitable it seemed to me. All the use.
My dear, aren't his legs revolting? When I think of that divine John Gilgan, his divine legs, well, I'm livid. I don't really like cake here.
Things blank and gross in nature
What's
possess
this
it
thing
really.
called? I haven't got my
But
glasses.
it should come to this. Within a month there, yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes. She married.
You know who's getting married?
It is not.
My dear, Nancy Hamilton. She's marrying that divine Roger Davis, who's got millions. Oh, my. Lucky gal, I would say. Lucky girl to get Roger Davis,
Not
don't you
alone my
think?
inky cloak, dear mother, nor customary suits of
Oh,
solemn black.
well. Oh, black's a wonderful color. They're wearing it in Paris and nothing but black. My dear, I just find... You! Hello there.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
Oh, I know this.
Whether it is nobler in
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler with the slings of arrows about raging, or to take last poor Jorrocks, I used to know him, on to the beach, dear. I used to do this in school, and I got a lot of laughs with it. I used to say to be or not to be. And then I'd go, oh, please. People yelled, and I did a very funny thing. I'd go, oh, and go,
There's the rub.
it's very amusing, I
But
know.
in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal toil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity so
Darling, look here, dear. Can you lunch with me on Tuesday at the Marjorie? Can you can? Well, I can't.
Hands of despised love.
Then you can't.
The Lord
Oh, my dear, I've done every committee in town, of course. I have an awful lot of work to
and the
do.
spurns that
And of course,
patient
none of
meditate
you know
unworthy
about that
takes,
black dress.
when
and of
he
course, the
himself
gowns
might
that
his
you
quietus
wear.
make
And if
with
you
a
will
bare
come to me,
bodkin,
man, for heaven's
who-
sake, you could hardly hear yourself think.
he doth.
Swearing, too. I think we're having this coming out. What's the matter? Is this the intermission? I love intermissions. Well, I'm going off to the powder room. Come on. One thing I...
Ah, there it is. That voice. That deeply lethal, penetrating voice. Dear lady, I haven't the honor of knowing you. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Laurence Olivier,
Where's Viv?
and I would like to tell you that in my curious English fashion, I intended to play Hamlet in this theater tonight.
What, in the aisle? Really, Virginia. They ought to draw the line somewhere. Actors in the audience.
But I appear to be interrupting you.
Now that you mentioned, I did find it very difficult to talk.
Yes, I found it very difficult to talk too.
Well, it's one or the other.
Dear lady, would you do me a great, great favor?
Well, I've only got about $1.50.
I don't want you.
Oh, I suppose you mean lower my voice just a bit.
Oh, no, dear lady. I wouldn't be without your voice ever. It will haunt me for the rest of my life. Tell me, you go to every opening night, I suppose.
Oh, yes, I do. I'm expected, you know.
Good, and then I suppose you will be going to John Gielgud's opening night.
That I wouldn't miss for anything. But I'm finding it very difficult to get tickets.
Dear lady, here are 2 tickets for John Gielgud's opening night.
Why?
Front row, center. You will be there, won't
Yes,
you?
I-
And all your friends will be there too.
Well, naturally.
And you will have a great deal to say to them.
Of course I will.
Dear lady, you have made a visiting Englishman very happy.
Well, that's funny. That's just what John Gielgud said to me when he gave me this seat for your opening.
Written by Moss Art for the show is on and remains one of the comedy highlights of Beatrice Lillie's career, but I'm certain that Hamlet's melancholia could have been cured by the 1952 Lincoln. We're going to do something from inside USA. And I'd like you to meet, I told you about all of the authors who had collaborated in the Beatrice Lillie career. I'd like you to meet 2 of them. First, I'd like you to meet Howard Dietz. Howard, stand up there and let them see you, won't you please? And his his writing partner, Arthur Schwartz. Arthur, will you stand up there and let them see you? The reason I wanted to meet them right now, it was in the Dietz Schwartz musical Inside USA that music lovers realized that the musical genius of her mother had trickled down to daughter Beatrice. Miss Lillie in that show not only exhibited, well, I suppose you could call it a mezzo convulso of frightening range, but also conducted a choral group and a sensitive, industrial spiritual. Come, oh come to Pittsburgh. Music lovers, Maestro Lillie. Come on, let me hear it.
And of course, smoke gets in late.
Come to come where you can see far.
Come where the sun shines only within your soldering and smelting coal. And pork. To the Susquehanna, nuts and bolts and melting coal. And pork. Petroleum Pipeline Institute distributes what is called natural gas. Natural gas. Off. Come to Pittsburgh. Come to Pittsburgh. Where the Raymond on the kilo, and the Raymond on the Stacy Holmes, the big man, and the alligator, and the
That, you can believe, was the choral number that persuaded Toscanini to retire from television. Of course, you recognize Les Compagnons de la Chanson. Well, Miss Lillie, while Bea Lillie is squaring herself with James Petrillo, they're going to sing a song about the French equivalent of King Cole. Now, this king was a painter. He made weird paintings. He composed crazy music. Despite the fact that he had spent most of his life at war, he died very, very pleasantly. Ladies and gentlemen, my compagnons, here they are. Let's hear for them.
Le bon roi d'Agobert a mis sa culotte à l'envers. Mais ce que l'on ne sait pas, c'est que ce roi-là eut d'autres aventures plus belles que volupures. Vous pouvez tous m'en croire, c'est comme ça qu'on écrit l'histoire. Le bon roi d'Agobert chantait des chansons à l'envers. Sur les routes de France, mille et une romances jaillissaient de lui, fraîches comme la pluie. Les oiseaux étonnés le prenaient pour Charles traîner. Il peignait des tableaux, il était seul à trouver beau. Ah la la. De ces paysages, des chevaux sauvages parfois même s'échappaient. Le roi savait les rattraper. Un jour dans son palais, un valet voulait le voler. Au valet voleur, il dit ma valeur est dans mon seul bien, je ne risque rien. Et vieux valet ballot, à voix qu'il volait les vélos. Quand la guerre survint, il la repoussa mais en vain. Tous les chevaliers voulant guerroyer préféraient l'armure aux vertes ramures. On enferma le roi dans une tour au fond d'un bois. Et c'est là qu'il mourut, ce roi que nous avons bien connu. Sur sa tombe, je crois, le grand Saint-Roi écrivit ceci qui n'est pas précis. Dada, gogo, vénère, a mis son âme à l'univers.
I brought my compagnons up for this show from the Shoreham Hotel in Washington, where they are now starring. And down there, they did a number. Well, they did it on our show here a couple of weeks ago. We've had so many requests. Jean-Louis. Jean-Louis is the boss. He is the chairman of the group. And he was in the underground, too. We've had so many requests for that recording. You know, you did on our show, Three Little Bells? Yes. Did you do that? Now, I was up in Boston this week, New Haven. They wanted to hear it. Janet Kern out in Chicago, big critic out there. She wanted to hear it. Would you sing it once again for us? Sure. Three Bells. This is their recording.
There's a village hidden deep in the valley, among the pine trees half fallen. And then on a sunny morning, little Jimmy Brown was born. So his parents brought him to the chapel when he was only 1 day old. And the priest blessed the little fellow. Welcome, Jimmy, to the fold. Boom, 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 boom. All the chapel bells were ringing in the little valley town. And the song that they were singing was for baby Jimmy Brown. And the little congregation prayed for guidance from above. Lead us not into temptation, let this hour of meditation guide him with eternal love. There's a village hidden deep in the valley, beneath the mountains high above. And there, 20 years thereafter, Jimmy Brown was to meet his love. Many friends were gathered in the chapel, and many tears of joy were shed. In June, on a Sunday morning, when Jimmy and his bride were wed, boom, 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 boom. All the chapel bells were ringing. Boom, boom. The great day in his life. Boom. The song that they were singing was for Jimmy and his wife. Congregation, pray for guidance from above. Lead us not into temptation, bless all of this celebration, may their lives be filled with love. From the village, hidden deep in the valley, one rainy morning, dark and gray, the soul winged its way to heaven. Jimmy Brown had passed away. Silent people gathered in the chapel to say farewell to their old friend, whose life had been like a flower, burning, blooming, till in the end, boom, 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 boom. Just a lonely bell was ringing in the little valley town. Was farewell that it was singing to our good old Jimmy Brown. And the little qui tourne dans.
In the musical At Home Abroad, Beatrice Lillie was discovered at the linen counter of a department store. Here is the scene.
Oh, would you mind holding these for me, please? Thanks very much. Shop? Clerk? Clock? Oh, dear, you gave me quite a turn. I wonder if you can tell me if my order has gone off yet.
Well, not knowing what your order is, madam, I really couldn't say.
But I telephoned it to you this morning.
What name, madam?
Mrs. Blogden Blagg.
Mrs. Blogden Blagg.
No, Blagden Blogg.
Oh, Blagden Blogg. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Tell me, madam, have you an address?
Do I look as if I live in the open air? I gave a large order for sheets and tablecloths to be sent to Mrs. Blagden Blogg, Bacon Villa, Egham.
Egham?
I hope I speak plainly. Egg ham.
Oh, yes, I remember very well now, madam. I'm afraid that order won't go off till tomorrow morning. Now, is there anything further, madam?
Oh, yes, I want 2 dozen double damask dinner napkins, please.
I beg your pardon?
2 dozen double damask dinner napkins.
I'm sorry, madam. I didn't quite catch...
Now, look here, dinner napkins, you know.
Oh, yes, I understand. Quite, madam. Plain?
No, not plain at all. Dabble damask.
Madam, I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating the order once more? I'm not quite sure.
Yes. I want 2 dozzle dam and dubbock. I want 2 dozen double dizzy Dana Nipkins.
Dana Nipkins?
Yeah.
You mean dinner napkins?
That's what I said.
Oh, no, madam, you'll pardon me. You said Dana Nipkins.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I said dinner napkins and I meant Nana didn't. Nippy napkins. Well, I wish you wouldn't confuse me.
I'm very sorry, madam. I understand exactly what you want. You want Dana Nipkins.
Yes.
Now, how many?
2 dozen.
Madam.
Oh, really? Look here, young man. Now watch my lips.
Yes.
Now you'll get it. Look. I want 2 dozen damask dinner napkins. Got
Yes,
it?
but yes, I have it, madam, but you don't want 2 dozen, you want 2 dozen.
I said 2 dozen. Well, they must be Darryl Zanuck.
I'm sorry, madam, I'm afraid we have nothing of that kind in stock.
Oh, really? But of all the fools, can't I find anyone with a modicum of intelligence in this store?
No, well, here's our Mr. Peters, madam. Maybe if you ask him,
How do you do?
How do I do what?
Can I be of any assistance, madam?
Well, I'm sorry to say it, but your assistant here doesn't appear to speak English. I am giving an order, but it might just as well be in Greek, for all he understands.
That's funny, but our Mr. Slaughter speaks Greek perfectly.
Really? Speak a bit.
Certainly. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta.
Yeah, well...
Allow me, madam. May I help you? You require?
Oh, yes, I want 2 dozen double damask dinner napkins, please.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, can't you understand me?
Would you mind repeating that order?
I want 2 dozen.
2 dozen.
Didn't I say 2 dozen?
You said dozen, madam.
Did
But
I?
I understand what you mean.
I'm sure you do.
2 dozen. In other words, a double dozen.
That's it. Double dozen, dizzy knickers.
Pardon me, madam. You mean a double dozen, a double dabbit dinner napkin?
Do I?
You mean
Well,
double damask, sir?
I said double damask.
But yes, you said it.
It's Dana Nipkins you require, madam?
Not at all. Dinner napkins?
I beg your pardon. How stupid of me. One gets confused.
Yeah.
Dipper napkins, of course.
Daffininkins.
Nippy Dankins.
I understand what you want, madam.
You?
Would you repeat that order?
I want 2 dozen double dizzy napkins.
Allow me, madam. The lady requires 2 dumb and dimmest dunner napkins.
Dunner napkins, sir?
Certainly, 2 dizen.
You're not done dizen at all. I don't want dizen. I want done dizen.
Quite so. Quite so, madam, if I may say so.
Oh, you can say it.
We are getting confused, splitting it up, as it were.
Yeah, we are, aren't we?
The full order is 2 dozen dibble double ninnerduckin.
No, it's 2 dumb and double dizzy napkins.
No, just a second.
No,
now, look here, would you mind, just remind me to have that straightened, will
2
you?
dozen dibble. No, it's 2 dozen dummy. 2 dozen dibble. Now,
I want 2 damn.
madam, please, your language.
Oh, well, give me a box of Kleenex.
Boy, and wait until you see that Lincoln close up. Honestly, that is something extra special. I want you to drop in and see it Wednesday. Now, I talked to a lot of performers about this, and they all agree that the most trying night in the life of a star is opening night on Broadway, not because of the critics, Dick Watts or Brooks Atkinson or Bob Coleman or John Chapman, but because there's a curious cult of pests who insist on rushing backstage to add to the star's exhaustion. So now here's a typical opening night, a typical exhausted star after the performance, and here the scene opens.
Thanks, you've all been so sweet. Now, would you please wait a moment while I change? I won't keep you a moment. Oh, thank heavens that's over. Oh, Miss Bowery, you were wonderful, just too wonderful. Oh, thank heavens it's all over. These first nights are deadly. Oh, what an audience. Why, we took 7 curtain calls. Oh, Sarah, now don't let a soul in until I change. Why, it's that Miss Nancy Fix-It. Don't let her in above all people.
Oh, my darling, my angel, my sweet, you're absolutely divine. You're simply wonderful. I really must kiss you. You're wonderful, I must say.
Thanks. Won't you sit down?
Yeah, thanks. My dear, the show was simply wonderful. I'm sure it's a hit. And your clothes, you look divine. Everybody was simply thrilled to tears. Heavens, look at my face. I'm a wreck. How are you? My dear, I'm simply ringing wet from excitement. I feel as if I played the whole show, every number. Move over, darling. I'm exhausted. Oh, my goodness, don't you just adore theater dressing tables, everything to put on your face. Darling, you're coming to my party tonight, aren't you? All the lovely roses. Who from? Oh, me. Hurry up, darling.
Darling, didn't you think the music was marvelous?
Yes, I did. Wonderful. But come to my party tonight, aren't you, darling?
No, I'm afraid I can't, dear. I'm simply worn out.
Oh, my dear, you promised. Well, I'm having 6 piano players and about 50 people. You only have to do about 6 or 7 numbers. Come on, darling.
Dear, I told you. We've got a matinee tomorrow. I really don't think I should.
Darling. If you don't come, I'll kill myself. I'll absolutely kill myself. Paul said he'd take you home.
All right, then very well for a little while.
All right, darling. Hand me my bag, will you? I'm exhausted. La-da-dee, the candle. What are you doing?
Looking for your bag.
Oh, here it is. These actresses, I can't make them out.
Nancy, what about the show, dear?
Oh, the show was...
Did you like the maypole number?
Maypole number? What maypole number? In this show? I didn't see it.
In the first act.
Oh, we didn't get here for that. We got here at the intermission. Wonderful intermission. Absolutely marvelous. Dripping with ermine, my dear. I saw Paul in the box with that dreadful Ruth Jenkins. She looks like something out of the good earth. Oh, my dear. What a cute little brush. This is sweet. What do you use it for?
I use it on my face.
Oh, you do?
By the way, Nancy, how was my face?
Oh, it was marvelous. You look wonderful. But what happened to your makeup, for goodness sake? Here.
Well, I don't know.
Well, my dear, look, take your eyes now, for instance. They're much too light. I'd put a line. But, oh, I'm sorry, darling. But there you are. It gives you more character, doesn't it?
Maybe you're right.
Yes, dear.
Oh, Nancy, how did you like my circus number?
I thought the horse was wonderful. How you got the horse to count up to 10, there it was. That was absolutely marvelous. Do you know what I liked? That Louisiana shuffle number. That southern thing.
Well, which one do you mean?
Well, where you did the double shuffle thing. You went, yuck, 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 yuck. It was awfully good.
Nancy.
You asked me, that was the best thing in the whole show and the best thing you've ever done.
Nancy.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't in that number. That was Helen Henderson.
Well, and what's happened to her hair, for goodness sake?
I don't know. Oh, did you notice mine?
Yes, I did, dear, and I wouldn't worry at all, because I know the very man who'll fix you up in no time.
What do you mean?
Oh, darling, for those gray streaks.
Gray, but I haven't got any gray.
Well, noticed it, but you know me, old Hawkeye. I see everything. And you had too much color on your cheeks. I made the same mistake in that show I was in called Rosettes of 1950. My dear, Ethel came back and told me about it.
Ethel who?
Barrymore. She's awfully good on makeup.
Not bad on acting either.
Not bad, but it's mostly makeup, don't you think? Now tell me, is this the blue you use?
Oh, yes. The same blue that Lynn Fontaine uses.
Oh, I like him. That's very good. Darling, where's your lip rouge?
Oh, right there on the table. Nancy.
Yeah?
Do you really think they liked it?
Like what?
The show!
What show? Oh, the show! Oh, my dear, it was wonderful. Did you see me in the audience? I was in the second row. Did you see me?
No.
Well, I waved my fan. Darling, and I sat right next to the Aga Khan. That gives you an idea. Well, some talk about a yacht went on.
Was there any talk about the show?
Oh, yes, my dear. There was talk, chatter and talk. Yes, it was. They said absolutely loved your ballet number. Do you know the Aga Khan shouted, bravo?
Really?
I told him it should be brava for a woman. Can you imagine a millionaire and doesn't even know Greek?
Nancy,
yes?
How did I look in the ballet?
Oh, wonderful. Just wonderful. You know, you make me think of Pavlova, actually. So I just closed my eyes and thought of Pavlova all through the number. Oh, my dear. Is this the dress you wore in that French number?
It is.
Don't you think it's a little too young for you?
Nancy, I'm supposed to look like a young girl.
Oh, bother with that. You want to look smart, don't you? I take that off. And I take these off. There you are. Now it's a different dress.
It certainly is. Don't you think I should have my dress slit up the side to show my legs?
No. Oh, it's so charming. I'm delightful. My voice teacher says I'm another Lily Pond.
Oh, completely.
My dear, speaking of ponds, I had the most amazing offer to pose for their cold cream. And all I have to give the man is $5,000. Isn't it thrilling? I should be in all the magazines, Town and Country, Swan and Edgar, Steady,
but what about
Jack and Charlie?
Nancy, well, what do you think about the fight that Helen and I did in the Apache scene?
I didn't think it was bad at all, but it was too long. Oh, did you see the fight I did last year in the Milk Fund?
Milk Fund?
Yeah, that thing of Shakespeare's. Not Hamlet. No, not that one. This one began with an A. Oh, yes, Othello. Well, I get in there. I had to fight with Pearl Peyton, the big horse. She's miles stronger than I am. I'm sure you're wonderful.
Now, look,
throw Helen.
I told you I'm very tired. I'm sitting all out. You don't have to trouble at all.
Oh, it's no trouble to me. Look, it's called nothing.
Nancy, I told you,
Just
dear.
stand there, quite quiet. Go on, I can take the arm. Down she goes. Oh, come on, get up. There's no time to rest, darling. Come to the party. A Marine taught me how to do that. Well, come on, darling. Everybody will be waiting. Don't just lie there. For goodness sake, Nancy, hurry up.
The girl who played the part of the star actually is. That's Constance Carpenter of The King and I. And now I'm going to call out here, you've just seen on this stage the most amazing tour de force that I've ever seen on a Broadway stage. Every facet of comedy. I want to call out Beatrice Lillie. Now really, let's hear it for her. Beatrice Lillie. You know, in introducing Bea early in the evening, I told you that her father came from County Down in Ireland. Is that true?
That's right.
And your mother was quite a distinguished English concert singer.
Right.
And her sister is a very famous composer and a very famous pianist, concert pianist. Is that right?
Right.
Well, now, Bea was telling me that when she was a little girl in Canada, in Toronto, she used to hear her mother do these operatic arias. And there was one that Bea, as a youngster, imitated. And I was wondering if I could get you to sing that for them tonight.
Oh, yes, our old friend Fairies at the bottom of the garden. My mother really did sing this. Also Gallicucci and Flagstaff and myself. There are fairies at the bottom of our garden. Thank you. There are fairies at the bottom of our garden. Now it's not so very, very far away. You pass the gardener's shed, and you just keep straight ahead. Oh, I do so hope they rarely come to stay. There's a little wood with moss in it, and beetles, and a tiny stream that quietly runs through. Oh, you wouldn't think they'd dare to come merrymaking there, but they do. Yes, they do. There are fairies at the bottom of our garden, and they often give a dance on summer nights. No, the butterflies and bees make a lovely little breeze, and the rabbits sit above and hold the light. Now, did you know that they could sit upon a moonbeam and snatch a tiny star to make a fan, and dance away up there in the middle of the air? Well, they can. Yes, they can. I heard that. Oh, those fairies at the bottom of our garden. You cannot think how beautiful they are. They all stand up and sing when the fairy king and queen come lightly floating down upon their car. Now the king is very proud and very handsome, and the queen, well, can you guess who that may be? She's a little girl all day, but at night she steals away. Now this will kill you. Well, it's me! Yes, it's me!
The Compagnons, this French group, were saying backstage while they were on, they said, you know, we have nobody exactly like Miss Lillie in France. And Reginald Gardner said, well, he said, we have nobody like her in America. And that is true, because I think outside of the one comedian you mentioned when we were sort of conducting our semi-interview.
Fanny Bryce.
Fanny Bryce was the only American comedian who ranked with you, Bea. And I know the two of you were very dear friends. So it was a great thrill to have you here tonight. I know it's been a tremendous thrill. This is the biggest crowd that's ever been in this theater. And they all came here because of you. But for everything you've contributed to the theater, and to the fact that you've never contributed anything that was soiled or blue to get your laughs,
well,
you are... Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have, with your permission, I'm going to have Beatrice Lillie come back here some other night and do the second chapter of her life story. Do you enjoy that?